During this past year, I have used my Shoei Neotec helmet to ride for a little more than 10,000 miles. And in this video, I'm going to give you a long-term update on my experience with the new Shoei Neotec 3 helmet. I purchased this on Amazon earlier in the riding season because I wanted a new helmet, and I chose this gloss black model. It comes with obviously a chin bar that goes up. That's activated by the red button here. It has a number of buttons and options on the front because it allows you to open the visor, and it also has a slide down sun, what do you call it? Sun visor, I guess, additional sun visor. So let's start talking about some of the things that I don't like about this helmet, because there's a long list. The first thing about this helmet that I don't like are all these little buttons and slides on the front of the helmet. In particular, this one that releases the visor. Because what it is, it's a little button you have to push in. There's a little tab that releases the visor, and then you can push the visor open. What I don't like about this little tab is if you're wearing gloves, it's kind of hard to find it because it's on your face and you're kind of reaching around trying to feel it, and everything feels the same. And then to push it, it's a little stiff. And so it just doesn't work well, in my opinion. And I can't understand why they did this, because the design of the Neotec 2 was actually better than this. And then it gets worse because beneath that, this is a vent. This is an air vent here, and I believe this helps to clear fog from the windscreen, I guess, or from the face shield. I think that's what it's for. And you can either open it or close it, depending on whether or not you want the air flowing in there. Now, obviously, in the summer, I take all the air I can get. But the problem with this is, again, is the slider, because there's a little indentation here. And if you're wearing thick gloves, it's hard to find because all of this stuff feels the same with thick gloves on. Fortunately, they didn't change the button to open the chin bar. That's still the same as the Neotec 2. It's very easy to find, very easy to operate because it's a big, gigantic button that you can't miss. These other two are hard to operate, and I'm still not used to it. After 10,000 miles, I hate them. I hate these sliders. This thing sucks because it's really stiff and you just can't find it. And this thing's just hard to activate. I don't like it. I really don't like that. I don't know why they changed this from the design they had with the Neotec 2, which in my opinion was superior. Now, the next thing about the helmet that I don't like is all of the work that I had to do to install my built-in Sena Bluetooth headset. Now, this is something that you have to buy separately, and in order to install it, you got to remove all of the padding from inside of the helmet. Now, if you've ever taken all the padding out of one of these Sena helmets, it's hard to reinstall it because there's little tabs along here. There's snaps on the inside, but the worst part, let's just take it off and show it to you. I've gotten a little bit better at putting this thing back together now. Is this part. This is hard to put back in. And if you've never done this before, it's not intuitive on how you get this thing back in there. It basically slides in the side here, and there's a couple of notches that hold it in place. Well, lucky me, one of the little plastic notches, well, it's here in my hand instead of inside of the helmet, which means this thing won't stay in place. It falls out all of the time. So I can't understand for the life of me why Shoei did not have some type of, I don't know, channel for the wiring to just slide into for the Sena headset, because that would have made it plug and play. It would have been a little bit easier. Or they could have gone a step further and just pre-wire all of the helmets. How much does this wiring harness cost? It can't be that much. So just put the wiring in there so that people don't have to take it apart, and then we don't have to deal with things like this. Now, when I look at this little plastic tab that's supposed to hold this chin bar in place, it slides in, and that's what holds it in place. It slides in like this and holds it in place. This is held in place by two-sided tape. I mean, that's a joke. You know, I can't believe this is their design. I really, really, really don't like this. They could have done better. But this is the way it is, and this is what we have to live with, unfortunately. Now, I did reach out to Shoei and explain to them that this little tab popped out because there's a warranty with the helmet. I'm like, okay, well, hopefully they'll fix it. And they offered to fix it. So they gave me a return authorization number, and they said I would need to ship the helmet to their repair facility. Their repair facility happens to be in Memphis, Tennessee, where I live. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. Where is it? They gave me the address, and it turns out the address is about a mile from my job. I drive past it on my way to work. I'm like, that's fantastic. I can drop it off in the morning, and it's going to be easy to fix. Might be able to pick it up the same day. And they said that's not possible. I would have to ship it to them. I would have to ship my helmet FedEx 25 miles to the other side of Memphis. And then they would evaluate the helmet, and I would have to wait for that. And then they would determine whether or not this would be a warranty repair. And then I would have to give them authorization to repair it. And they would determine at that point whether it's a warranty repair or if I would have to pay them. Well, it looks like I would have to pay them, or they would warranty putting some two-sided tape and sliding this back into place. Obviously, I didn't do that because it's still broken. And apparently, in my opinion, Shoei's warranty is trash, because why would I give up my helmet in the middle of riding season? And it just frustrated me that I have to ship my helmet FedEx at my cost 25 miles down the street when I could just go drop it off, but they wouldn't let me do that. So I'm not happy with that at all, and that's really unfortunate. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. So I talked about the challenge of installing the built-in Sena head unit. So there's some issues with the Sena head unit that I don't like either. Or I call it the head unit. It's the Bluetooth set. Now, it functions great. It connects to all of my bikes. It connects to my 23 CVO Road Glide and allows Apple CarPlay to pop up. I've used it for accepting and placing phone calls, listening to music, podcasts, audiobooks, you name it. And sound quality is pretty good. The problem with it is the app that goes along with it and some of the functionality of it. Now, the worst part about it is my iPhone rings so freaking loud inside of this helmet. I've gone through all the app settings. I've tried to find some way to turn the ring volume down. Nothing works. The only thing that's worked for controlling the ring volume is turning off or putting my phone into airplane mode, because it's irritating. Well, not airplane mode. I just put it into silent mode so that it won't ring at all, because it's so irritating when it rings, because it's max volume. It's super loud. So you could be listening to a nice audiobook, and then bam, the phone starts ringing, and it blows your eardrums out, and it's annoying. Oh my God, it's awful. In addition to ringing loud, it automatically answers the phone. So this is the scenario. I'm riding down the street, listening to something mellow. The loud ringtone comes on. Then I start yelling and screaming. And then the phone answers. And then whoever is on the other line is listening to me yell, scream, and oftentimes cuss. So I can't believe they did that. I haven't figured out how to turn off the auto answering thing, because I mean, what if I don't want to take the call, for one thing? My God. But, the loud ringtone, auto answer, and then the person gets to listen to me yell about it. It's almost like it's a cruel joke that they made it that way, but for whatever reason they did. Now, the other problem with the volume is, if the volume goes from 1 low to 10 high, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. There's no 8, 9. So there's a large gap in volume between the top 2 notches in the volume, which is irritating, because sometimes I might want the volume at, say, an 8 or an 8.5 or a 9, but you can't. It goes from 7 to 10. I don't understand why they did that. Now, in the app, they have custom EQ settings. I don't understand why they have that. It is a motorcycle helmet. What good does it do me to adjust the sound quality in a motorcycle helmet when I'm riding a Harley with a loud exhaust, and I might be riding with other people who also have loud exhaust, and I ride with my visor open? the custom sound does absolutely nothing. I may just want a little bit more volume or a little bit less volume, and you can't fine tune the volume the way you want at the top end of the volume, and it's frustrating. Now, continuing on, the other problem are these little chiclet buttons that are on the side. So we have the button towards the front has a plus sign on it. So you increase the volume, decrease the volume. Really don't know what this middle button is for. I have no idea. But if you push that middle button and the plus button, that turns the unit on and off. This button over here, which I'm never going to use, allows me to hook up with other Bluetooth headsets. I don't like talking to people while I ride, so I'm literally never going to use that, and that's okay. And in the back, this is where you plug the helmet up to charge it. So the problem is, these buttons are so small, when you're wearing thick gloves, you can't feel them. It's hard to determine what's what. They are so small, I can't help but wonder if anybody actually rode with this thing on a bike wearing gloves and tried to adjust the volume on here. It's hard to find these buttons, and it's just a bad design. This one, again, it's small too, but I really don't care about that one. It's the volume buttons on the side that mean the most to me. Now, the last thing that we'll talk about regarding this helmet is the price. This helmet is $900. $900. The Cena headset unit is $359. That's $1,259 plus tax. You're probably looking at something close to $1,400 that I've got tied up in this helmet that has a cushion that won't stay in place. That's a lot of money. But the funny thing is, I love this helmet. It's the first helmet that I grab when I'm going for a ride. Why? Because it fits well. And in spite of all of the things about this helmet that irritate me, it fits so comfortably. Once I'm moving, I kind of forget that I have it on. Now, I had an opportunity to chat with a guy online who's a lot more familiar with Shoei helmets than I am, and we're kind of talking about why it fits so well. Or I was talking about it, and he thinks it's because Shoei makes different shell sizes for different size helmets. Some of the cheaper helmets have like a standard helmet size, and they just change the insides. So Shoei gives you a more custom fit. And this is my second Shoei helmet, and odds are I'll probably buy a third one, but I hope they fix some of the flaws that I talked about. But it's just a super comfortable helmet, and the key part about any safety gear, whether it be a helmet, boots, gloves, pants, jacket, or whatever, is comfort. And this helmet knocks it out of the park. By far my favorite thing about this helmet, and the number one reason that I buy it. Now, the second thing that I love about this helmet, and this one is going to surprise you, is my Cena Bluetooth headset. I really like it. I like that it's integrated and built in. I wish that Shoei did not change it with every iteration of their helmet, because the built-in unit for the Shoei Neotec 2 will not fit on this helmet. You got to buy a brand new one for the Neotec 3, and I'm sure there's no difference in functionality. It's a Bluetooth headset. But they change it, and I really hate that. But I like that the unit is built in, because I don't have the big brick hanging off the side of my helmet. This is much more sleek. It looks better, and I just like the way it works, minus the glitches that I've already mentioned. So all in all, I still like my helmet. If I had it to do all over again, I'd still buy it. I don't regret buying it, but I just wish they would fix some of these issues. And hopefully, when they come out with the Shoei Neotec 4, they get somebody to wear it while they're riding before they finalize the design, because they can fix some of the stuff. Because it takes away from an otherwise great helmet. Now, I will also tell you that the Shoei Neotec 2 is still available on Amazon for $599. It's $400 cheaper than this helmet. There is not $400 worth of difference between the Shoei Neotec 3 and the Neotec 2. In fact, I like the Neotec 2 better. But again, I don't regret getting the Neotec 3, but I just like the Neotec 2 better because of the controls up here. So that's something that you may want to consider, and I'll provide affiliate links in the description of this video for the Neotec 2 and the Neotec 3. In fact, I'm also going to provide some affiliate links for these helmet liners. I bought these on Amazon as well. This is my favorite helmet liner, and I like it because it's thin and it doesn't hurt my head. I bought other helmet liners that have thick stitching along the edge, and that helmet liner runs right across here, and it gets pressed into my skull by the helmet. This one doesn't do that. I don't feel this helmet liner when I'm wearing it, and I really, really like it. These are fantastic, and they got different designs. You know, I like the flag, so I got this one. I got a flag that's black and white. I like that one, and I got one that's all black. And they got different designs and patterns. They have one that's what they call paisley or something, and different designs. They're pretty cheap. I buy a couple, 2 or 3 of them every riding season, so you might want to check those out too. This is Q. I'm riding, I'm wrenching, and I am out. Better.